When it comes to new products, there's this age-old saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. This is true, especially for a corporation as big as Microsoft and Xbox. In fact, at this point, bad publicity is just a free form of advertisement. So let's check out some lies we were all told about Xbox, because at the end of the day, many of us are still playing an Xbox One with our overpriced Xbox Live accounts. Xbox has done a few things right, and we're actually happy that many of these lies weren't the truth. If you could have changed anything with the Xbox One, what would it have been? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you want to keep up to date with all things gaming, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Without further ado, here are 7 lies you were told about Xbox. Xbox One would not have backward compatibility. There was a lot of rumors circulating about whether or not the Xbox One would officially allow users to play their old Xbox 360 games. Reading articles about the rumors was a lot like we imagine getting a bad case of whiplash feels like. One rumor was spread stating the Xbox One would be able to do this, but only if you enabled the feature with a simple hack. Now, this turned out to be untrue, but it was said if you pressed keys, you could enable the special developer mode to send your Xbox One into an endless reboot loop, which couldn't be recovered. It sounded like a good way to destroy something you just spent $500 on. But hey, what do we know? The hack turned out to be nonsense because the Xbox One was a completely different monster from the 360, and we say that lovingly, of course. It wasn't just an upgraded version of existing hardware, but something completely new and entirely rewritten. Trying to get this really cool hack to work would sort of be like trying to teach someone proficient in Mac OS X software how to use a Windows computer. It just wouldn't be possible. Luckily for Xbox users, they only had to patiently wait about 2 years for the Xbox One to have backwards compatibility, which isn't too bad. It received updates from Microsoft at its launch in 2013, allowing select games to be played. But it was on November 12, 2015, when the dashboard update, which contained backward compatibility, would be released to the public. Yay! And then, on October 24, 2017, another update added games from the user's original Xbox library. Well played, Xbox. Well played. Slow clap. Kinect and Big Brother were working together. Since the dawn of technology, people have been concerned about being watched by the government, and for good reason. Anytime there's a new high-tech piece of hardware on the market, rumors and myths seem to swirl around it. And the Kinect was no different. There was a camera and microphone which had a perfect view of your living room, and was always waiting for your voice commands. With the right software, this little device could read your heart rate, so why wouldn't it be listening in even when it seemed to be off? Microsoft put consumers' troubled minds at ease, letting everyone know, even if the company wanted to abuse the Kinect's powers, it couldn't do so. The Kinect's camera and microphones aren't recording or transmitting any of the audio or visual back to Microsoft servers unless the user gives consent. Although there are some voice commands which comes back to the servers, most of them are converted to text beforehand. It was initially an article by The Guardian, which gave way to the idea Microsoft may be giving government agencies access to things like private Skype video and audio calls. We guess for now we'll just have to believe Microsoft is obeying the law, and what little of the Fourth Amendment is left. If you forgot what the Fourth Amendment is, open a book. It's the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In other words, it would mean the government and Microsoft would need a warrant to use this device that eavesdrops on citizens without probable cause. But for anyone who believed Microsoft was helping the government eavesdrop on their daily activities, they may be relieved to discover Microsoft had decided to end manufacturing the Kinect. And hey, if you want to watch me play video games in my underwear, go for it. The Bigfoot myth of Grand Theft Auto. The rumors of a possible virtual Bigfoot sightings were swirling nearly 1 week after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, and GTA became a big name for Xbox. There was and still is no definitive proof Bigfoot exists in the game, just some blurry photos. But it was Rockstar who finally put an end to all those rumors. There was never a Bigfoot in the game. They hinted, however, that there was something there which fueled gamers everywhere to search and search, finally diving into complicated code of the game. The release of the new mods made this even more complicated, because anything considered evidence of the original Bigfoot's existence was now most likely just a modified edition. It's interesting how Bigfoot still plays such an integral role in gaming myths and legends, and it's most likely one of GTA's most popular myths. It's also probably why Rockstar decided to include it in Grand Theft Auto 5. The most popular inclusion of Bigfoot's search has to be the Golden Peyote plant. It was added after the free mode events update. If the player had completed 100% of the game, and this would include the last 1 side missions, and found all 27 peyote plants, golden peyote plants would appear in the game. There would be 1 different location for each day of the week, and it would only be there from 5:30 to 8 a.m., and only if it was snowy or foggy weather. My gosh, there was a lot of variables here, so only the truly dedicated took on this challenge. It's all worth it for the peyote. This special plan would allow the players to play as Sasquatch, who could drive all the vehicles as well as any dropped weapons. The bonus here is playing as Bigfoot gives you increased strength. If the player eats all the golden peyotes, they'll have a hallucination causing them to unlock Bigfoot and Beast characters in director mode. So maybe the whole Bigfoot theory wasn't just in our heads after all. Or maybe we just had too much peyote. The Xbox One would only work in 21 states at launch. The Xbox One would only work in 21 countries at launch. Let's clear this one up right away. When the Xbox One was announced, there was this parody which came out stating that it would only work in 21 countries at launch, not 21 states. Well, first of all, it was just absurd to think it would only work in select states. If the Xbox 360 could be played throughout the US, why wouldn't the Xbox One be able to? Apparently, gullible people all over the United States fell prey to this tall tale, but it wasn't entirely false. We think what may have happened was someone read an article incorrectly which stated the Xbox One would not work in all countries. The official pre-order product information for the Xbox One revealed an account on Xbox Live and an Xbox One supported Xbox Live country would be needed, but they were basically saying if you're not in an Xbox Live country, then you're out of luck. Sorry. The problem with them choosing to say this is there was only 21 supported countries at the time of launch. See, this is where the 21 states thing was taken from. The answer Microsoft had for people who wanted to play but couldn't because their country wasn't supported was they would want to wait until the console is available in their region, or move to a completely new house in a country supported by Xbox Live just so they could have the full Xbox One experience. Well, that's commitment. Xbox cannot run 1080p games. Most of the hype surrounding PC gaming is that you'll never be able to beat the graphics of a top-end video card in a good gaming PC. And this is actually not entirely false. When it comes right down to the very core of it, console systems always seem to fall short in this department. Don't be fooled by the pretty graphics and streamlined playability of games, because most of them are just being shown to you on high-end computer screens. You mean the guys at PlayStation and Xbox are lying to you? Well, it certainly seems so. Sorry if we've just burst your bubble. But there's a reason when new games are featured at E3 and other major gaming conventions, where new titles are being shown for the first time, developers are going to be using a PC. Also, want to know why games have historically come out on the console first? It's because most of the time, games are worked out on PC and then they're tinkered with for the console version. This means they're not going to be the best and the brightest, so if you decided to switch to PC, you'd actually be getting the more flawless version of the game that's probably going to cost the same amount of money. Console companies just don't want you to be let in on this little secret. But we do get the appeal of consoles, especially with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, as they cater to people who also want a home entertainment system, and there's nothing quite like the feeling of having a controller in your hand to smash buttons. So for those of you who claim the Xbox One couldn't run a game in 1080p at launch, well, we do have news for you, because it could, just not as many as it claimed. It was Forza 5 which broke the streak when people were noticing the graphics definitely lagged in a few new releases. Just think about Halo 5's release. It was obvious from the start that the game focused more on frame rate than resolution, since the first-person shooter could always run at 60 frames per second. The game also feels great to play because of that amazing performance, but they definitely had to sacrifice the ambitious 1080p resolution to get it to where it was, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want this dream, we'd recommend switching over to PC and treating yourself to an out-of-this-world GeForce GTX 1080 Ti with a hefty price tag of $740. But we guarantee you'll never view gaming quite the same way again. Xbox Gold Live would be a requirement. So the biggest rumor circulating around the release of the Xbox One was that in order to play games, any games, which would include single-player games where no internet connection was required, an Xbox Live Gold subscription would be required. Thankfully, the rumor ended up just being a false claim and nothing else. So the nice thing is that people didn't have to buy their Xbox Live Gold subscription to use their new Xbox. In fact, there were about 20 countries which didn't have Xbox Live Gold for their areas at the time of the Xbox One's launch, and it would have been pretty unfair for these gamers if it were a requirement. One large complaint of the Xbox 360 was the requirement for there to be multiple Xbox Live subscriptions for the same console. Luckily, Microsoft did away with this, and you'd only need one Xbox Live Gold subscription for all accounts on a single console. See, they do learn. They also offered a deal where if you bought a one-year membership, it would cost $60 instead of paying just shy of $120 for paying month-to-month for a year. Now, if it's worth the subscription is another question in and of itself. Even without the subscription, you could still play game demos, watch all your favorite video subscriptions, install new sports apps, and watch channels like NFL, ESPN, and NBA, if you have them at home. And use the live TV feature with the Xbox One to watch NBC, CBS, and Fox if you have the Hapag TV tuner. All of these features seem like more than enough, but the Xbox Live Gold membership is not really meant for casual gamers. If you're banned on Xbox Live, you'll be banned from everything. Being banned from games is never fun, but you know what else isn't fun? Dealing with a bunch of trolls and haters when you're just trying to have a little fun and let off some steam while gaming. Back off, trolls! The Xbox One and Xbox had to completely overhaul and redesign their player reputation system. The reputation system rewards positive player interactions, like playing fairly and having good sportsmanship, while creating a downside to those who exhibit poor behavior like cursing, disrespecting teammates, and cheating during a game. Each player starts out with a clean slate as a good player, and as they interact and play online games, the reputation score will change. This reputation score is important since it's part of your online experience, including who you're paired with. The biggest concern with the Xbox One was that if you were banned from Xbox Live on the system, you would lose all access to your accounts, including the games which didn't require Xbox Live to play. One message in a forum sent Xbox gamers into a frenzy. It read, "If your account is banned, you also forfeit the license to any games that you have licensed ties to it." Of course, the director of programming for Microsoft's gaming network Xbox Live stepped in to ease the troubled minds of Xbox fans during an interview with Chloe Dykstra. "You will always have access to the games you've purchased." Well, that makes a lot of sense. If you're spending a lot of money on games, why would they take them away? Sure, some companies might be greedy. EA. But for now, you're safe with Microsoft since you won't have access to multiplayer games, which seems fair. If you can't play nicely with others, then you don't get to. End of story. You can't see it, but my finger is wagging right now. As you can see, Xbox has quite a few lies which developed into full-size frenzies for gamers, but in the end, everything turned out alright. Do you agree with this list? Are there any Xbox lies we may have missed? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for joining us.